And before I start the first topic, of course, I need to introduce the unit, since you guys have not been attending, but I think we had sessions. If you can look at the notes, there is a recording on the first introduction of a unit that we are calling Procurement and Buyer Relationship. That is relationship. Before we start the unit, I think it's the high time we ask ourselves whether there is a need to have a cohesive relationship between all the stakeholders in procurement. When I talk of all the stakeholders in procurement, of course, I'm talking of what? I'm talking of all relevant individuals in procurement. These relevant individuals, of course, include the customers, include the management. Is it wise for us to have a good relationship with the customers? Is it wise for us to have a good relationship? Is it beneficial for us to have a good relationship with our suppliers? Is it wise for us to have a good relationship with the management? Is it prudent? Is it wise for us to have a good relationship with other departments in the organization? So if you now ask yourself such questions, you come to understand that relationship is a glue that holds individuals, holds departments, holds the organization together. And therefore, it has very impactful benefits in our performance as procurement. Because look at it. If I'm able to have a good relationship with my suppliers, I'm able to negotiate with them and get a better price for the products I'm going to purchase from them. If I'm able to have a good relationship with my customers, I'm able to allow them, or they are able to query me, they are able to give me clear and correct feedback on the performance of the products in the market. If I'm able to have good relationship with the management, I'll get all the full support that I need. They shall assist me with the money that I need. They shall support all the visions and goals that I have in procurement. So, therefore, before even we start the first topic, you just have to embrace the importance of relationship in procurement. So I don't want to waste a lot of time because of the essence, because you guys have not been around, but I'll go to the first topic, which I know I have uploaded in your notes. If you're a wise student, I'm very sure you could have passed by, you could have seen, and I have started by defining what is a buyer-supplier relationship. I have explained the advantages of having this kind of relationship. I have listed the various types of relationship. I have explained the various characteristics of successful collaborative buyer-supplier relationship. I have also explained the involvement of supplier relationship. So I don't want to waste any time. I shall go directly by defining what we call purchasing or what we call supplier-buyer relationship. I have said it refers to the act of integrating purchasing professional and firm key suppliers in decision making with respect to sourcing decision. That is the definition from this guy, Carr and Pearson, that is back in 2002. It can also be defined as the process of managing interaction between two entities, one which is supplying and the other one that is receiving. That process of managing interaction between two individuals, between two entities, one that is applying and the other one that is receiving, is what you are calling purchasing supplier relationship. So of course, what are we saying? Relationship has evolved, and we would like to say that in before, relationship has been there. It's not something that we are having it modernly. It is something that has been there in before. It's something that has been practiced. So it's something that we can trace back long ago. The only The only now encouragement that we have now is impactful benefits in procurement. So I'll go to what we call customer-seller relationship, and that is kindly. Hello, who is that? Who is that? Unmuting. Kindly make sure your mic is off so that we cannot hear the echo. Sawa sawa. Egon, you are going on, you are going off. Kindly make sure if you have any question, are you able to get me? Kindly respond there in the public chat so that you know I can be talking around. Are you able to get me? Andika hapo chini kwa public chat Gitonga, are you able to get me? Kindly type on the public chats so that I cannot be talking around. I want you to learn something. Are you able to get me? Oh, okay. Thank you. Now I can continue because I really wanted to confirm so that I cannot not be talking alone. So I was still speaking, and I'm still reminding you that the title of our unit is Procurement and Supplier Relationship. So we are going to be dwelling much on the relationship. And by the end of the unit, I'm very sure you shall have embraced, all of us, the importance of having a collaborative or else a good relationship between us and all the stakeholders. So what are some of the advantages of having a closer buyer-supplier relationship? What are some of the benefits of having a closer buyer-supplier relationship? Number one, amongst the many, we have development of mutual trust. Development of mutual trust. Of course, if we have good relationship, that automatically tells us that the supplier can open up and share their ideas with us. That the supplier can entrust us with the information that they need to share with us. The next one, we have a good relationship gives an opportunity to evaluate which supplier should receive long-term contracts. What are we saying when we talk of long-term contracts? Of course, when I entrust you, if we have a good relationship with you, if we are friends, automatically I will entrust you for a longer period by having a longer contract with you. That is what you're saying. Number three, we are saying, of course, a good relationship helps by having a joint sharing of problems. Joint sharing of problems. And these problems may include the quality problems or the product quality problems. If there is an issue, we are able to raise to the suppliers. We can tell him there's a problem with your raw materials. Your maize is rotten. Your maize is not clear in terms of moisture. That is what you are talking about. There are very many other importance or else benefits of having a good relationship because okay, there are very many benefits of having a closer. Allow me to solve an issue with the technical team here. Procurement and supply relationship. Unataka kufanya nini? Sisi tunatafuta classical. Sisi namaliza within the rest and the next 1 minute.
Serious.
Aki.
Chukua ingine.
Chukua ingine. Wewe. Chukua ya Kitonga hapo ndio amezoea. Sorry for that interruption. It was the technical team that wanted some information. So I was still continuing and mentioning the benefits of having a cohesive relationship. And I want us to interpret it in a logical manner. What are those importance of having a good relationship with a friend? What are those importance of having a good relationship with a supplier? Those are what we are talking about. Those are the points we are talking about. And I'm saying, of course, when you have a good relationship with you, I'm able to get your problems. When you have a good relationship with you, I'm able to share ideas with you. I'm able to entrust you and tell you that I have a problem of this nature, that I want us to venture in this kind of business. That is what you're talking about. It helps in good decision making. That is something also we are talking about. So ensure that also we know much about it. Then we have types of relationship. Types of relationship, we have the first one, which is supportive relationship. And this is a kind of relationship that supports industry competitiveness. It's a kind of relationship that supports industry competitiveness between value actors and other stakeholders. It has the following characteristics. Supportive, meaning that I'm supporting you, you are supporting me. So of course, there's no one who's gaining more than the other. We are all gaining. So look at the characteristic of supportive relationship. It is mutually beneficial. That means the two parties or more than two parties are benefiting. We also have it is recurrent and substantial. It is recurrent and substantial. That automatically tells that you can be able to exchange information, skills, and services. I'm able to entrust you with my information. I'm able to entrust you with my skills. We are able to exchange skills. We are able to exchange services because of the trust that you're having. It's voluntary. I don't have to be asked to support you. I support you or I help you without even you asking for my help. We also have another type of relationship that is supportive. And I'm saying supportive is a relationship that is headed by support of the various parties. Then we have adversarial relationship. Adversarial relationship is a kind of relationship where one party benefits and the other one does not. One party benefits and the other one does not. So this is a kind of selfish relationship where I'm aiming at exploiting the other party at my own benefit. I want to benefit, but I don't want you to benefit. I think those are the many types of relationship that you always have with your friends. And you should be careful when you're relating with your friends. If you find that you have a friend who only calls you or who only needs you when he wants something, but when he is very much comfortable, then he doesn't even remember you, that's a kind of adversarial relationship. And you're saying it's a type of relationship that exists. You can find the supplier only want you as a buyer the only times that you can buy from him. But if you're not buying anything, then he doesn't even remember you. That's adversarial relationship. Then we have social relationship. Social relationships are based on ties to family and friends. Mostly with social relationship, it's a relationship that coexists between closer parties. That is the family. It might be closer friends, people you can entrust with your secrets, people who know much about you, people who know much about your background, your childhood. These are people you cannot even be able to lie to. So for such kind of relationship, we refer to them as social relationship. And then we have collaborative buyer-supplier relationship. When you're talking of collaborative, of course, we are saying it's a win-win kind of relationship where you are mutually benefiting. You're benefiting from me, I'm benefiting from you. That is collaborative buyer-supplier relationship. Then we have virtual relationship. Virtual means remote. Virtual means remote. And when you talk of virtual relationship, it's a kind of internet relationship. It's a relationship between two people or more who have met online. I think giving an example, we have now guys meeting in Facebook, talking in Facebook, getting in line in Facebook, and then finally even getting married now physically. So whatever we can refer to such kind of relationship is what we call virtual relationship, a relationship that is remote based, a relationship that is internet based. Then we have a real relationship. The term lean means wasteless. It's a kind of relationship that is based on some set principles for achieving quality. When we talk of lean relationship, we talk of a relationship that is meant to eliminate waste. You are coming together, or else you are coming into a relationship so that you can be able to build up quality, you can be able to eliminate cost, you can be able to create more knowledge. That is the real relationship definition. We also have the last type of relationship that we call agile relationship. Agile relationship refers to a set of values and principles that has been put forth in order to fasten, in order to achieve quality through offering products. Okay, Pogiso Lemtugei, Pogiso, you are welcome. Although you are entering and leaving, make sure you switch off your mic. Okay, I was talking of agile relationship, and I'm saying it's a kind of relationship that is based on set principles and values. When you talk of the term agile, it means being fast and delivering quality products at the same time. When I'm speaking of the term agile, I always give an example. It's a kind of relationship that is aimed at customer satisfaction. Like, for example, if you attend hotels nowadays, you find they no longer prepare chips in advance. They no longer prepare chips in advance. What they do nowadays, the moment you visit as a customer a hotel, they already have the potatoes peeled. That is the time the potato sliced. But the moment now you ask for chips, that is the moment now they put it in deep frying fat. After some 5-10 minutes, they are able to give you. Whatever these people in procurement they have done, they have been able to control cost. How? They have been able to be very fast in terms of delivery. Of course, chips were half ready, but they were not fully ready. That is why they awaited the customer first to order for chips, and then they put it in the deep frying, and then they give you. So for such kind of relationship is whatever we are referring to as agile relationship. We can talk of characteristics of a successful collaborative buyer relationship. And number one, it is limited in the number of suppliers for each purchased item or family of items. You can't have a collaborative supplier-buyer relationship when you are so many. I think not everyone can be your friend. There are those we call true friends, and therefore they are the only guys you can maintain in such a series of relationships. And then it is also based on a win-win approach to reward sharing. When we talk of win-win approach, it's a kind of approach that is based on mutual benefits. There is no one who selfishly want to gain from the relationship. It is also based on joint efforts. It's also based on joint efforts to resolve problems or disputes. We are able to share or solve problems together. We unite for us to attack one common enemy. It's also based on open information exchange. We are able to exchange information between one partner and another one. It's also based on credible commitment to work. It's also based on commitment to quality. And I think those are the several characteristics of a collaborative buyer-supplier relationship. We can also cover something to do with the evolvement of relationship from whatever we are calling adversarial to collaborative. Remember, we said adversarial is a kind of relationship that only one party goes home happy. It's only one party that gains in a relationship, and the other one suffers the detriments. So it's a kind of selfish relationship. One party gains, the other one loses. That is adversarial. When we talked of collaborative, we said it's a kind of relationship that is meant for mutual benefit. The two parties usually benefit. So we find all the two parties benefiting from each other. So of course, in the evolvement from adversarial to collaborative relationship, we have phase one, which talks about traditional schools of supply management. In here, we say that each party views the other with minimal trust or respect. Remember, we are evolving from adversarial to collaborative relationship. And we are saying we have the first phase, which is traditional schools of supply management. What was it saying? It is saying in this kind of phase or in this kind of stage, each party viewed the other party with minimal trust or respect. When we are starting a relationship, in most cases, I don't know much about you. So therefore, I will not trust you so much. I don't know much about you. So therefore, I will not respect you so much. So this is the first phase of relationship evolvement. Then we go to the second phase. We find in this phase, there is mere suspicion rather than total distrust. We find in procurement that we have multiple sourcing, but still we are careful in whatever we are doing. In this phase, we find that now we are not totally distrusting you, but we are starting to gain some more information about you. We don't trust you, we don't respect you so much, but we are finding ourselves now evolving to a manner that we are trying to get more information about the kind of a person we are. So the kind of relationship is now climbing the ladder up. We are getting information about who you are, and therefore trying or raising the level of trust that we had in before. Then we have phase three. Phase three, we find that now the relationship has grown. We find now there is a little bit of closer buyer and seller relations. And this is as a result of mutual goals. We now start understanding each other. I start understanding that the seller is here, or the seller understands now he must sell something to me. And I understand that I must buy something from him. So of course, as a result of mutual goals, we are able to increase in the level. We start respecting each other. We start now knowing that for the seller to succeed, he needs the buyer. For the buyer to succeed, he needs the seller. So of course, the relationship grows a little bit more and trust is now improved. We go now to phase four. Phase four, we don't refer to it as the final stage, but it's the advanced stage, where we now find the two parties, that is both the buyer and also the seller, having complete trust, total trust between each other. They are committed to working together. They emphasize on strategies that are going to support them achieve what we call world-class performance levels. And of course, we find that purchasing is responsible for managing the supply base. I have realized that you are the best supplier. I have realized that for me to succeed, I need to have a cohesive relationship with you. So therefore, by all means, I need to have total trust of you. By all means, I need to win you over so that we can share ideas. We can have what we call joint problem solving. We can have joint decision making. So of course, this is the advanced stage of relationship where we have total trust between the two parties. Those are the different phases. So in a nutshell, in summary, we have said we have the first stage, which is the traditional schools of supply management, or the first stage where we are saying the two parties, because they don't know each other, they don't have trust, they don't have respect for each other. And then we are saying in the second phase, trust is slowly gaining its momentum. We find that now parties start getting information about themselves, about each other, and therefore they contribute towards the growth of the relationship. From there, I think we can talk about model of supplier relationship, and we can first start with the first one, which is the Coxie model. Coxie was just another who tried to come up with a theory that justifies that relationship is sequential, that justifies that the relationship between the purchaser and also the supplier is something that takes a series of steps before it matures up. So what does he talk about? What does Coxie talk about in his model? He categorizes or he creates a randa of contractual relationship where and he believes that relationship has to undergo this process before it matures up. So he starts with the first step, and the first step he calls it the lowest step, and he says in this lowest step, that is the first step, the relationship is catalyzed by adversarial or arm's length relationship. Adversarial, that means we don't have, it is selfishly motivated. We don't have any party which is aiming at mutual benefits. So at first, in the first step, we find the party or the two parties aiming at having or aiming at singly, selfishly benefiting, and then they go. Then he goes to the second stage. The second stage, he says, that is based on arm's length relationship, that parties now start recognizing that they cannot live without each other. They slowly start respecting each other. They slowly start trusting each other. And in here, we find that the supplier or the buyer having now several suppliers that he can choose from. He starts having several suppliers that he can choose from, but these suppliers must be limited in numbers. And then we go to the third stage, which is the preferred supplier. We find that we now have the buyer having a pool of suppliers, and from the pool of suppliers, he chooses the best suppliers amongst the many. He chooses the best suppliers amongst the many. And then we have the fourth step, where we have the single sourcing. Single sourcing, we find out of many, the buyer discriminates the least and finally comes up with a more closer supplier that he can be able to share secrets, he can be able to share ideas, that he can be able to share information with. And this is the kind of supplier that most likely is going to purchase from. That is single sourcing. Out of the pool of suppliers, out of the preferred suppliers, I come up with the one that is best. But later off, in the sixth step, according to Coxie, we have now the buyer recognizing that he cannot live with one supplier. So he connects and have a network of suppliers. A network of suppliers, this is where now you know that if you rely on one particular supplier, he will mess you, because if you don't get products from him, then finally your business is going to stop from operations. So what are we saying with network sourcing? Network sourcing, this is where you now have several suppliers that you can alternate, that you can have as a solution thereafter. And then finally, according to Coxie, he says that you get the strategic suppliers. The strategic suppliers are the suppliers that you maintain the highest level of alliance with. This is the highest step in the ladder. These are the kind of individuals that you are able to partner with through other supplier involvement. This is a kind of individual that you value, you respect. This is a kind of individuals that you carefully treat, that you don't want to lose, because you have realized that there's some ample advantages associated with them. And that is what you're talking when you talk of Cox model. He talks about the several stages that a relationship have to undergo. I think they are well explained in your notes. You shall find them. And now that calls the end of the first topic of our notes. So before I go to the next, I will unmute your mics. And in case you have a question, you can ask. Okay, this is the high time we now unmute our mic and you ask any question. Egon? Pogiso? Pogiso, do you have any question? Egon, any question? Itonga, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
I'm okay. No question.
No question. That is Egon. Who is that?
Yeah.
Pogisho, I can see you. Do you have any question? Gitonga, you have any question so far? Gitonga, you have any question? If you have any question, you can type it there on the public chats. So let me now see everyone typing. Tell me whether you have any question. If you don't have, just say no question. Just type there down, no question. If you don't have any question. Pogisho, type down there, no question.
I can type.
No, check on your left. There is a place for public chats. And that is why I want to direct you there. Where we have all chatted. You shall find somewhere we have chatted. Pogisho tena umepotea. James, type there whether there is a question or not. Type no question. If there is no question, if you have a question, type it there. James. So now, being our first lesson, I will advise that we guys try as much as possible. I have been waiting for you. Try as much as possible. We'll be punctual. We shall be having or starting our online class at exactly 8:20. So give that allowance at exactly 8:20 for the preparation. That is when we shall be having the BBB. That is Big Blue Button lesson. Then from there, you are required after the lesson, you are required to continue with the questions, to continue with interacting with my unit, that is via the discussion forum. So from here, I shall refer you back to the discussion forum where we have some questions typed and you are required to attempt before you leave. And of course, some quizzes also typed. You can try those quizzes, which are multiple questions, either true or false, or else you choose the right answer. And you should also be reminded that we have a class attendance. In there, you can be checking, that is marking your class attendance. This is a new semester because of Corona, of course, because of COVID-19. We have resorted. We are a digital institution. We have resorted that we are not going to stop your studies. When others are busy enjoying, you guys are still studying. So allow us to stop from there. Now I send you back. Make sure you go back to where you joined. There's a discussion forum waiting for you already. There's a discussion forum. Make sure you contribute on the one that is written discussion forum on 18th. That is today. Make sure you contribute in there. Make sure you also attempt the quizzes that are there before you leave. Thank you so much.